Nice warm bubbles. These fuckers said 100, not 100, -60 degrees wind chill in the Midwest, and I think it's like -12 degrees without the wind chill or some crap. I don't understand people who can deal with that kind of cold. I can't do it. That's some bullshit. Hey, one person, how you doing? I'm wrapped up in my bed, eating some garden salsa sun chips. I just don't know how people live in the Midwest and all them cold ass states up north. No, 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 no. Who you be? Hit the like button, come in the chat and say hello. Come on in from outside in the cold. And let me update you on some things. Well, that court situation I talked about in my last video ended up being quite uneventful. I still don't understand what happened other than the guy showed up to court and then, excuse me, he dismissed the charges. The girl never showed up. So he dismissed the case, I should say. I don't know what sense that makes. Then hearsay, from what I understand, something about she was never served or something. You know what? I really don't know. Suffice it to say, it was a dud. But we shall see what happens after this. Maybe that's all that was needed to calm this chick down. We shall see. Because this shit ain't worth it. Not one bit. Mm. Oh, there you go. Hi, Teresa R. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. You can hit the like button. But 50 degrees in Florida, that's still too cold. That's why I'm in Georgia. I couldn't do a New York winter. I've always hated winter my whole entire life. And after 38 years, I was like, I can't do it no more. Here in Georgia, so far, this winter has been as I've known it to be since I've been down here for 13, 14 years. You know, you have a few cold snaps. Days last 3, 4 days, sometimes just 2. Then it warms up again to the 60s and a lot of times even in the 70s for a few days and goes back and forth like that. But by the end of February, it starts warming up. You're out of the woods. But those freezing temperatures with the wind chill factor and the freezing of your fingers and your toes, walking to the train station or waiting for the bus and digging your car out of snow. Can't do it no more. Thank you, Teresa. I can't do it no more, honey. Now, I don't know what the temperature was today, but I can tell you it was really, really cold. And I didn't even bother to leave the house. hmm So I'm like on this chat with Madam Whipass channel. Me like a dummy did something and got my other channel shut down. Oh well. But I promise I will not do that again. hmm Yeah. I'll never forget. This was a few years ago. I used to work at this place dealing with women in recovery for substance abuse. So, just think of a rehab, right? And it snowed down here, and the whole city of Atlanta was shut down for like a week. It was snow and ice, and so the women couldn't even leave the unit to travel to the cafeteria on the other side of the campus. They couldn't leave the unit to go to their classes and therapy. Everything was shut down. They had to stay on the unit. And I had to stay with them. I had to sleep there because couldn't get home, whatever. So I was with these women for 3 days. I kept them, entertained, active, things like that for 3 whole days. Third day, I finally get to leave to go home, right? I leave. Other staff comes on shift. Within 15 minutes after I left, those women started fighting each other. And I was so shocked because there was no issues. It wasn't like there was a conflict or anybody was mad at each other. Not the whole 3 days I was with them. I didn't see none of that. There was no tension or anything. So I remember asking my boss, I was like, I don't understand what happened. I would have never thought nobody wanted to fight somebody or anybody was angry. It was none of that. He said, when you trapped in a house like this for days and with the same people, after a while you just look at a person and be like, I don't like you, bitch. And it's on. I don't know. I never understood it. And he's from Michigan. I just that just tripped me out because I just never saw it coming. And I was like, well, the whole time I was there, why was it 15 minutes after I left they started fighting? He said some people just have a certain energy with them. And when I thought about it, the person who relieved me, she did have a certain energy about her that would provoke people to start fighting. I don't know. I kept the peace. I kept the peace. But yeah. And then, shoot, what was this, 2018? One of them years, 2014. I can't remember. We had 2 inches of snow. Did you hear me? 2 inches of snow. That is nothing in New York. 2 inches of snow crippled the entire city to the point where I had to sleep in the parking lot of Bank of America. I got off work 3:30. I tried until about 6 o'clock to get home. The interstate, everything was a parking lot. So I just slept in Bank of America. I wake up 6:30 in the morning. Now, what normally takes me 30 minutes to get home, it still took me 2.5 hours to get home. That's why when they talk about snow, Teresa, I don't go nowhere. I ain't going to nobody's job. I'm not leaving my house because you never know if you're going to get back. Yep. You never know if you're going to get back. Yep. Mm-hmm. 2 inches of snow. Okay, so it rained on top of it. But still, that would never cripple New York City or any of the 5 boroughs. Sure, we'll have a blizzard, 2 feet of snow, and everybody's still moving and getting out and going to work. Man, it's for the birds. Hey, Concrete. How are you, hon? Now, notice how you have a wrench on this channel. You're on a different channel. The Chat with Madam Whiplash channel. Are you trying to make $1? Anyway, what's been going on in this sector? I've been in other sectors. This one kind of got... It was lit when the new year hit. I think it fizzled out a few days ago. Mike and Jamila ain't together anymore. I tell you. So anything new been happening? Oh, same shit, different day, huh? Yeah. All is quiet. I seen Queen Bianca and Tommy going back and forth today. Hey, how old should a female be before she should be moving out of her parents' house? Because she's 26 years old and still lives with her parents. And I heard somebody mocking that. And I don't know. Me personally, I don't see nothing wrong with a female in her 20s or 30s and still living at home. I really don't. He moved in with a wife, right? That's your brother. And maybe I'm biased because I didn't move out until I was 33. Yep. I did not leave until I was 33. And I tell you why. Because I was scared to move out. And I ain't ashamed to say it. I sure enough was scared to get my own apartment and live by myself. I sure enough was. Not sure why. I don't know. I just was afraid to do it because I lived with people my whole life. My siblings, my parents, or when I went away to college, who did I live with? My aunt, my cousins. Never lived alone. And then the second reason why I didn't want to move out is I didn't want to move out to an apartment. I always said if I was going to move out, I was going to move out into my own house. And pretty much that's what happened. And then when I did move out, I actually brought my father to live with me because he was ill. So still I wait, don't get mixed up. I didn't move out till I was 26. Wait. No, not 26. Hold on. Let me get these numbers right. Um, 96. I was 29. I'm sorry. And I had my dad move in with me. Took care of him for 4 years. So up until 33, I never lived alone. My dad passed when I was 33. Then I had no choice. I was living in my house by myself. And then I realized, you know what? This ain't so bad. It's a beautiful thing. And I started to like it for a while. But then, I don't know. I just didn't like it so much. So I sold my condo, moved in to my aunt's house with my cousin. And that was in 2004. And then, I don't know. I was just getting really sick of New York. And then 2005, my mom passed. And then a month after my mom passed, my aunt passed, which was her sister, whose house I had moved to. And I was like, you know what? I just can't do New York anymore. It was October. It was starting to get chilly. And I was like, I gotta go. I just gotta go. I didn't know where I was going. But the thought of me leaving New York was rolling in my mind. And one day I came home from work and I went to sleep. So I would get home about 5. And I fell asleep. At 11 o'clock that night, my eyes popped open. I said, ooh, I'm going to move to Georgia. And I'd never been to Georgia. Didn't know anybody here. And I just got out of my bed and started packing. 11 o'clock that night. By 1 o'clock that afternoon, I was on the road. And that's how I got here to Georgia. And don't regret it. Don't regret that spontaneous decision and move. Not one bit. It was just time for me to leave New York. It was just time. Mm-hmm. You thought you was brave enough to move when you was 18. But her situation made it so you couldn't move back in. Oh, wow. Yeah, I just, and, is there anything I dislike about Atlanta? Um, Not really. But one thing that keeps me here is the weather. Yep. So I really don't see the big deal if a female don't ever move out and still live with a mama. I don't know why that's a problem. Now, if she married and bring the husband in to live with mom, no, 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 that's a different story. But as long as she's single, what's the problem? She don't have no kids. Why the hell she need to be out in an apartment someplace? For what? And you can stay with mama. You people bugging. Yep. Now, why is it a problem if it's a 26-year-old man still living with mama? What's the problem with that? Mm, mm, I understand what you're saying, and I'll be honest with you. No, I better not say that. Yeah. So I was at home. I saved my money for a house, down payment, because I didn't see the sense of moving out into somebody's apartment and paying their mortgage. I want to pay my own. Yep. I'm thinking about going back to school, become a nurse, psychiatric nurse. Let me correct that. Now I'm thinking about it, but I can finish a program in 2 years. Become an RN. But I don't feel like going back to studying and doing all that stuff. I did school enough. I ain't doing it again. So I'll just think about it. But probably won't do it. Not at my age. I just don't want to make that kind of sacrifice again. I did it in my 20s, in my 30s. I ain't doing it no more. Yeah. Simba, what are you doing? Anyway, this phone is getting hot. And I'm going to get off and surf the net. Simba. Oh, stop. I'm going to surf the net. See what's popping out there. But thanks for hanging out with me for a spell. I shall catch you all later. Ciao.